Welcome to Recollection Mall. If you were a mall rat like me or spent your formative years hanging out or getting dragged to the mall by your parents or parental units, then you've come to the right channel. Have you ever gone into your childhood, teenage, or current mall and wondered, wasn't there a store or restaurant there? So let's take a trip down memory lane and take a deep dive into this mall's history of yesteryear. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video and take my mall survey. I want to see if you, the viewer, were paying attention to my video. So hit that like button, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe to Recollection Mall. Thanks. Illinois Home Art Development and Michigan's Taubman Company teamed up in the late 1960s, forming a joint venture to build shopping malls. Along with the Marshall Field and Company, they constructed Chicagoland's Woodfield Mall, which by the end of 1971 was one of the largest fully enclosed shopping malls in the world. Over on the left coast, a sibling shopping center was being built by Bayshore Properties of San Francisco. Plans for the Eastridge Center had been announced in February of 1968. Plans for the project were publicly announced in February of 1968, envisioning a major regional shopping center to capitalize on the rapid suburban growth in East San Jose. Construction commenced shortly thereafter, with groundbreaking occurring in 1970. The $32 million complex was built on 105 acres, featuring innovative enclosed mall architecture tailored to the era's retail trends. Eastridge Center is located at 2200 Eastridge Loop in San Jose, California, which also includes an extensive parking lot that can accommodate over 9,000 cars. The 1.4 million square foot shopping center would occupy over 200 acres actually, and this was located 1.7 miles east of the San Jose Central Business District, in an unincorporated section of Santa Clara County. The mall site, which had been utilized as the Hillview Golf Course, was eventually annexed by San Jose. The complex featured two full levels of retail, with a third sublevel situated at two corners of the Grand Court. This design was used for Woodfield Mall and also as Taubman's Fairlane Town Center in Dearborn, Michigan. It was the largest enclosed shopping mall on the West Coast when it first opened. The vast shopping complex opened on May 17, 1971. It was anchored by a two-level, 133,000 square foot JCPenney. The Eastridge location was noteworthy as being one of the last stores in the chain to be branded with the new generation, the 1960s vintage look, Penny's nameplate. This location opened on May 17, 1971. 31 Eastridge stores were dedicated on May 12, 1971, just 5 days earlier. The remaining Eastridge anchor stores opened in the following order: a two-level, 192,000 square foot Sears on July 21, 1971, a three-level, 185,000 square foot Honolulu-based Liberty House on August 1st, and a three-level, 187,000 square foot Macy's, California on August 12th. A 21,500 square foot Joseph Magnin welcomed its first customers on July 1st, 1971. Among the 112 charter stores were See's Candy, Jarman Shoes, Petrie's, Size 579 Shops, Albert's Hosiery, Singer Sewing Center, Tiffany's Bakery, and Thayer McNeil Shoes. There was also a 18,000 square foot ice arena. The opening attracted significant crowds, marking a milestone in commercial development for the region. The mall had its competitors from the beginning, including the Valley Fair Mall, which opened in 1956, the Westgate Mall in 1960, and the Oak Ridge Mall in 1971. The Eastridge Center had appeared in notable films, most prominently in the 1972 political drama called The Candidate, directed by Michael Ritchie and starring Robert Redford. A key scene depicting a campaign rally was filmed at the mall shortly after its opening, capturing the expansive interior spaces as a venue for public gatherings. The Liberty House store had never been really successful there. It was sold to the Carter Hawley Hale chain in November of 1977. On January 28, 1978, the Liberty House closed and reopened under the Emporium nameplate on March 1st, 1978. On May 1st, 1980, all Emporium and Capwell stores were rebranded under a new Emporium Capwell nameplate. This brand lasted until 1990 when it was changed back to simply the Emporium. The mall would be remodeled in 1982, and around this time, the first Sanrio store in the U.S. would open near Macy's. In 1984, Joseph Magnon's store closed after the company went out of business. Meanwhile, plans for a mall expansion became a hotly debated issue in 1986. The mall owner and operator of the adjacent Reed-Hillview Airport battled it out in court. The mall parking lot had become infamous for several plane crashes and missed landings. The airport argued that an 8-screen multiplex proposed for Eastridge would block access to their runway. The mall owner stipulated that the airport constituted a safety hazard and should be shut down. A compromise of sorts was finally worked out. The airfield remained in business, and a new multiplex, which is now featuring 15 screens, would be built. However, its location would be moved substantially to the southwest, placing it out of the trajectory of descending aircraft. The mall would be remodeled and updated again in 1988. So if you went to this mall, you may have remembered F.W. Woolworth's 5 and Dime, B. Dalton Books, Bresler's 33 Flavors Ice Cream, Bumbleberry Parlor Restaurant, Casual Corner Ladies Wear, Chess King, Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, Foxmore Casuals, Fredericks of Hollywood's, Lerner's Shops, Merle Norman Cosmetic Studio, Morrow's Nut House, Motherhood Maternity, Naturalizer Shoes, Round Table Pizza, Santa Cruz Imports, C's Candy, The Alley, The Gap, Viscount Records, Walden Books, and Wixon Sticks, to name a few. In 1993, the Eastridge Mall added a historic Spillman Engineering 3-abreast carousel, originally manufactured around 1920 by the Allen Herschel Company, which had been restored and installed as a family-friendly attraction within the center. In January of 1996, the Eastridge Emporium store closed, and its building would sit vacant for 7 years. Eastridge Center was remodeled again in 1995 and was in need of some sprucing up by the turn of the 21st century. Moreover, the enormous vacant Emporium needed to be redeveloped. Chicago-based General Growth Properties, which had acquired a majority interest in Eastridge in October of 1999, started a $100 million makeover in January of 2003. The Emporium and the adjacent ice arena were razed and replaced with an open-air streetscape section of stores. Barnes & Noble opened its doors on March 15, 2005. By this time, the inline stores had relocated into the Penny's wing. The interior of the shopping center was gutted and rebuilt in stages. New stores such as Hollister's, Victoria's Secret, Vans, and Old Navy were added to the directory. The old Grand Court was reconfigured into a new central plaza. Its 2 sub-level sections had been taken out, with the entire mall reoriented with just 2 levels. The food court on the upper level was expanded into a 9-bay operation. Lastly, a cinema multiplex on the drawing boards for nearly 20 years came to fruition as the American Multi-Cinema Eastridge 15. This venue opened on November 23, 2005, right next to the Sears. The rejuvenated Eastridge Mall now encompassed 1.3 million leasable square feet, with a retail roster of 140 stores and services. In February of 2012, 2 teenagers were seriously injured in a stabbing inside the mall, prompting an evacuation of the stores and an arrest of a 15-year-old suspect. The victims were expected to survive their injuries. A less involved renovation got underway following the shuttering of the Bed Bath & Beyond in January 2014. Its two-level area and adjacent store space was reconfigured. A 40,000 square foot 24-hour fitness and a 50,000 square foot round one bowling and amusement center was dedicated in March and September of 2015. A major $15 million renovation project began in 2016 under new ownership and continued through 2017, featuring upgrades to flooring, lighting in the food court, and exterior facades, along with the addition of play areas and community spaces. Meanwhile, the General Growth Properties sold the shopping mall in January of 2016. The mall was a joint venture of El Segundo's California Pacific Retail Capital Partners and New York City's Silver Peak Real Estate Partners. The new proprietors performed a mall-wide facelift in 2017 and renamed the shopping hub as simply Eastridge. The project included the installation of vibrant murals celebrating local San Jose culture, enhancing the mall's artistic appeal. The renovations were completed in early 2018, which was marked by a 3-day grand reopening celebration from April 6th to April 8th, which drew crowds for events and showcased the refreshed facilities. Barnes & Noble closed in the Eastridge location on January 11, 2018, due to a lease dispute with mall management. In February of 2020, Sears closed. Additionally, the mall formerly featured a roller rink as part of the entertainment offerings, which closed on March 23, 2025. The mall went up for sale and was purchased for $135 million in 2024 by a firm led by developer Chris Giashu Zhu. Today, the two-level, 1.3 million square foot mall is anchored by a Macy's and JCPenney and houses more than 140 stores and services, featuring dining options, entertainment venues, and fitness centers. Congratulations!
Still here? It's over.
When I find you. Pop quiz, hotshot. This is only a test.
So if you've gotten this far into the video, thanks. So how many anchor stores closed or changed names at this mall? So if your answer was 4, give yourself a hand. You were paying attention. Thanks for watching. So what are some of your memories of this mall? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to Recollection Mall. Add your name to the mall directory. Thanks.